My name's Patty. I have been a nurse practitioner and a nurse midwife for almost 30, a little over 30 years. And during that time, I have increasingly been frustrated by the lack of knowledge that a lot of women have regarding sexual health, STDs, human papilloma virus, abnormal pap smears, and what causes them. And so during this time, when people would ask me, how did this all happen? Why did this happen? My response over these 20 years to people jokingly has been never trust a penis. Never trust a penis kind of grew over these last 30 years as a reminder that, before you get involved with somebody, you really need to know some background of people. And you won't know everything because people do lie. But there is a lot that can happen in a down river in a woman's health that can be affected by obtaining STDs and not even knowing that you have them. If you've had them for a long time, they can do damage in the tubes. That was my dog. In the tubes, and then when you're trying to get pregnant down the road, you can't. You have problems getting pregnant. There can be pelvic inflammatory disease where you just have pain in the uterine area and stuff, and that just is chronic pain because you didn't realize that you had STDs for a while. And then the biggest thing that really prompted me to be able to use this phrase, never test a penis, was I do a procedure called colposcopy. And in that, it's if somebody has an abnormal pap smear, then we use this procedure, the colposcopy, to look real closely, kind of like a magnifying glass, on the cervix to see if there are evidence of disease. And disease is a process. It starts out to be a little bit abnormal, then a little more, and then you have cancer. If you've not paid attention and got annual exams. So people for a long time have come in to my clinic and said, "Oh, well, everybody in my family has cervical cancer," and I think a lot of people think it's genetic and it's like passed down. That's what happens in our family. Well, the reality is it's not genetic. It's total exposure to the virus called human papillomavirus. And in that virus group, there are over 300 HPV viruses, but there are several that if you pick up some of the viruses onto the cervical organ, and that starts to cause disease and it gets deeper and deeper into your system, you can end up with cervical cancer. And if it gets into your body, women die. So cervical cancer doesn't just happen overnight. It usually is a very slow growing event. It takes maybe 10 or 15 years to manifest. So with my colposcopy, I always teach women about HPV and how it progresses and the things you can do. And the number one thing is how many sexual partners you have in your life. You could be with somebody and he has absolutely no human papilloma virus, and that's great. But you could be with somebody else that has multiple strains of the virus. Each virus is given a number, and there's two numbers specifically, 16 and 18, that are very higher risk for you developing cervical cancer. So, but the guys don't show up with a card. They don't tell you that, hey, just so you know, I got 16 and 18, and therefore, if you have sex with me, you could have cervical cancer down the road. They don't even know. Cervical cancer is hidden because it's down in the vagina. It's not like you're looking at it. And the only way you can tell if something's changing on the cervix is getting a pap smear. And if you get an abnormal pap smear, then we move on to investigating and trying to figure out what is the level of the disease on the cervix. So over the years, I have used this phrase, never trust a penis. And I want to use it in a fun way and an awareness way that we can improve the health of our women and improve awareness of what causes problems. And I offer you to join the journey in this, and I will be giving you more educational things and topics. So Never trust a penis, and join me on this.